Hello, real English speakers. It's Nick, your English fluency coach from Sydney, Australia. And I am here to help you with your everyday conversational English, boosting your English to the next level. This is part of my vocabulary video series. I'm going to help build your vocabulary so you can grow and have more interesting and colorful words to use. This is really useful, especially if you want to take the IELTS test or any kind of speaking test. So in this lesson, you're going to learn 10 compound adjectives to describe people. What's a compound adjective? This is where you have two words that go together to make an adjective, and they're usually hyphenated with a little dash between them, So these are great words because they're a more interesting way to describe people. You can expand your vocabulary. Great for IELTS and speaking tests, but also just to have interesting conversations with people and explain and describe people in more detail. Does that sound good? So, stay to the end of the video for a recap and a quiz on this one. Alright, I want to see how many you can remember and use. Let's go in to number 1. Absent-minded. Absent-minded. What is an absent-minded person? What kind of person is this? So, this is someone who doesn't really think very clearly. And maybe they forget things a lot. And they're very forgetful. Someone who is quite forgetful. And they don't usually remember things. And maybe they are, sometimes we can say, a bit vague. Not very clear in the mind. An absent-minded person might forget to turn off the stove after dinner. Jane is so absent-minded, she's always leaving things on in the house. Number 2, thick-skinned. A thick-skinned person. Ouch! Skin, of course, you know what skin is, right? Skinned, adjective, thick-skinned. So, thick, okay, you know, which is the opposite to thin, thick. A thick-skinned person. What do you think this is? Sally lost her job last week, but she's very thick-skinned. It didn't worry her at all. She got a new one the following week. To be thick-skinned means to be emotionally strong. So it means you don't really get upset. You don't get affected by things that happen to you. An emotionally strong person. Number 3. Narrow-minded. Narrow-minded. He has a very narrow-minded view. He doesn't like other nationalities. He doesn't like other races and nationalities coming into the country. He doesn't believe immigrants should move here. So what do you think? Narrow-minded. So narrow is like when something is not very wide. It's the opposite to wide, narrow. So if you have a narrow mind, it means you don't think in a wide way. Someone who is not willing to listen to other people's point of view. Someone who doesn't tolerate other people or differences in the world. It's similar to prejudice. We have another word, prejudice. Someone who doesn't accept other people from other countries or other backgrounds or other genders and sexualities and so on. Number 4 is warm-hearted. Warm-hearted. So that's quite easy to guess, isn't it? Someone who has a warm heart. This person is kind and loving and caring sort of person. Jane is so warm-hearted. She donated so much money to the homeless people last year, and she's always caring for sick people. She's so warm-hearted. Number 5 is self-centered. Self-centered. So the center, self, you can guess this one. Someone who is self-centered only thinks about themselves. So it's similar to selfish. They're always thinking about their own life and their own requirements and needs. They don't really think about other people. They think about themselves first. John is so self-centered. He just never listens to any of my problems. He's always talking about himself. I hate it. Number 6. Maybe you've heard this one. big-headed. A big-headed person. So, what does this mean? What do you think? Someone who has a big head. This is someone we can say is conceited or arrogant. Someone who is conceited is very proud of him or herself, or vain. They think they are really special and really important and better than everyone else. Jennifer became really big-headed after she moved to Hollywood and became a famous movie star. Or we can say someone has a big head. Jack's got such a big head now that he's earning $1 million every year. He really thinks he's special. Number 7, two-faced. Two-faced. Someone who is two-faced. You can think about this image. They have one face here and one face here. So one face is very kind. Hi, how are you? Oh, you look great today. The other face is, oh my God, she looks terrible in that dress. Or one face is, hey, how you doing? Ah, you look so great. How are you? The other face, jeez, he's put on a lot of weight. He's really fat these days. I really don't like that guy. What a dickhead. So two-faced is having, we can say someone who is deceitful or insincere. They are not being honest. They have something else going on the other side of the face. Alex is really two-faced. He's so nice when you're talking to him, but then he goes and bitches to his friends behind your back. So that's another expression. To bitch to someone means to say bad things about someone, to criticize someone, or complain. And behind your back means when other people are not watching, when you are not talking face to face, when you're not looking behind your back. Number 8, tight-fisted. Tight-fisted. So a fist, this is a fist, right? When you clench your fingers together and you make a fist. What about tight-fisted? So tight is when it's very like that. It's not loose. It's tight. Tight-fisted. My dad is so tight-fisted. Whenever we go for dinner, he always chooses the cheapest restaurant and he never wants to buy wine. Someone who doesn't want to share their money or spend too much money. So they keep all the money for themselves. They keep the money. That woman across the street is so tight-fisted she will not donate to any of the charities in our community. Number 9, level-headed. Level-headed. So someone who is level-headed is very calm and sensible. They have a good, clear mind. Calm and sensible. James at work is so level-headed. We had a problem with some customers, and there was a really bad customer complaining about everything. But he was very calm. He was so level-headed about it. And number 10, hot-tempered. Hot-tempered. So what is this? Jack is very hot-tempered, so just be careful what you say to him. You don't want to upset him. Someone who's hot-tempered means they lose their temper. Have you heard this expression, to lose your temper? Your temper is your state of mind and your mood. So when you lose your temper, it means you lose control of your state of mind and your mood. Someone who loses their temper usually gets angry very quickly. You bloody! And, maybe they might throw something or just yell and scream or get really angry and their face goes red. So someone who is hot-tempered gets angry very easily. We had a guy at work named Samson. My God, he was so hot-tempered. If something didn't work on the computer, he just lost it and started throwing everything around the office. These compound adjectives can be used to describe different personalities, different kinds of people. So, here we are. Here we have the 10 compound adjectives. Take a look at them and refresh your memory. And then we're going to have a little quiz. So in this quiz, I'm going to give you a standard sentence with the normal adjective, and you have to replace it with a compound adjective. Let's go into the quiz. Woo! Number 1. Sarah is so calm and sensible. She can deal with any situation. What can replace calm and sensible? One compound adjective. Sarah is so level-headed. She can deal with any situation. Great. Number 2. James is extremely arrogant. He thinks he's so much better than other people. What can replace arrogant here? James is so big-headed. He thinks he's so much better than other people. That's right. Number 3. Watch out for Sally. She gets really angry so quickly. So, what can we use to make this a bit shorter? This is quite a long sentence, but we can make it shorter with one adjective, one compound adjective. That's right. Sally is so hot-tempered. So hot-tempered. Number 4. Annie is so insincere. Never believe anything she says to your face. What can replace insincere? Annie is so two-faced. Never believe anything she tells you. That's right. She's dishonest or insincere. Next one. John is such a kind, loving guy. He's just so great. John is such a warm-hearted guy. That's right, a warm-hearted guy. Or John is so warm-hearted. Many people in this country can often be quite prejudiced about other races. What do you think can replace prejudiced? Many people in this country can be quite narrow-minded about other races. That's right. My dad just does not like spending money at all. He's so selfish with money. What can replace selfish with money? He's so tight-fisted. Tight-fisted. Exactly. By the way, this is not true about my dad. This is not true at all. It's just an example. Don't ask Jane to take care of your keys. She's very forgetful. What can we use to replace forgetful? What can we use to replace forgetful? She's very absent-minded. Exactly, absent-minded. Andrew always talks about himself. He's only interested in his own affairs. Andrew is so self-centered. Self-centered. So we could say selfish. Selfish. Or self-centered. Great, guys. So now you have 10 compound adjectives to describe people's personalities. Write these down. Make a note in your notebook so this will help you remember them. I suggest you make some sentences. Practice writing some sentences and then try using them in conversation. So next time you have an opportunity to talk to someone in English, try describing your friends. Or do it by yourself. Talk to yourself about some of your friends and practice using these adjectives. You can also practice in the comments below here on the YouTube channel. Make some sentences. Tell me about your best friend. Or tell me about somebody in your family. I would love to hear about it. Tell me about somebody in your family or your best friend and use some of these to describe them. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more useful videos like this. And I hope to see you very soon. See you in the next video. Bye. He's very thick-skinned. He can handle all the rejections when he goes to auditions. So, of course, we can have the opposite to this as well. We can have thin-skinned, a thin-skinned person. So, if you think about it, when the skin is very thin, it absorbs things more easily. So, when you have thick-skinned, you can be resistant to things around you and to what people say. But when you're thin-skinned, maybe you absorb what people say much more. So, if somebody criticizes you, "You look terrible today. That's an awful looking jacket."